Let us look at this surprise video. Of course, this is quite surprising, seeing that a woman is an informant to bandits, to terrorists. I think it's a much worse video, because for me, nobody would have thought that a woman could go to the extent of indulging in such, but you see her as you watch the video shortly. But meanwhile, before we go into the video, let us just quickly look at some areas of success against crime and criminality, against terrorism. Anytime we see success against Fulani militias, we don't waste time in bringing it to your notice. And of course, I always say that whether it comes from the locals, from the police, from the army, from the navy, wherever it comes from, it's a welcome development as far as I'm concerned, because we understand that the government, all the level of government have a responsibility to protect lives and property, because the constitution is very clear on that. Looking at section 14, section 2B of 1999 constitution as amended, that says that the welfare of the people and their security shall be the primary purpose of governance. And also, as the president, the governors, the local government chairman have taken an oath to protect lives and property in their respective capacities. But quick one, this one is coming from Sahara Reporters. It says FCT Police Command arrest 5 bandit kingpins, recover over 2,000 rounds of ammunition in Nasarawa. That is coming from Sahara Reporters. I must say it was a welcome development, because each time you do this, you are depleting the power of the bandits from wreaking havoc. You are, of course, limiting their ability to commit crime. I will shortly allow you watch the woman, but let us quickly see this one that is coming from SCT. This one is tweeted by The Punch, where it's saying, police arrest 5 banditry suspects, recover arms in FCT. It's equally a welcome development. For me, anywhere it comes from, as long as success against bandits, is a welcome development, because we are dealing with a very formidable force. As you can clearly see that Global Terrorism Index says that Fulani militia of Nigerian extraction is the 4th most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. Let us quickly look at this last one, so that I'll allow you to listen to the woman, of course, who is caught in the act of doing business with the terrorists, with the bandits. This one is saying, troops of 12 Brigade Nigerian Army recorded a significant win as the bandit leader named May Dawa terrorizing Egbe in Yaba, west of Kogi State, and parts of Ekiti local government, Kwara State, confirmed killed during a fierce gun battle yesterday as operation continues. Okay, meanwhile, let me allow you listen to that conversation while the woman was arrested. We'll come back to further this conversation after this timeout.
Ya sunanki? A wani gari yake zaune? Maraban Jos? Da kike maka same ki? Kina harka da informa, kina informa ko kina harka da kidnappers?
Ina harka da su.
Da kidnappers? Kina zaune a garin Maraban Jos? Sai su waye ne kuke tare da su?
Ina tare da Fati.
Fati? Da wani?
Da kuma Sadiya.
Sadiya? A ina take Sadiya?
A kira mata.
Fati in kuma fa?
A Maraba.
Sai wane?
Sai Hafsa.
Sai Hausa? Wannan da kuke tare? Sai wane kuma?
Sai Nasiru.
Sai Nasiru? A ina yake zaune Nasiru?
A Kirama.
A Kirama? To bayan shi kuma fa?
Sai Bayero.
Bayero? A ina yake zaune Bayero?
A Kirama cikin Maraba.
Ok, to a cikin maza su kenan Bayero kaɗai?
Sai Kabo.
Sai Kabo? Shi yana ina ne?
Shi yana Kaɗi.
Yana Kaɗi ne? Ku kenan? A cikin 'yan sanda da suke yankunan nan, wane ne kuke tare da su da kuke aiki?
Gaskiya dai 'yan sanda da gaskiya mai san kowa.
Ba ki san kwa ba ɗan sanda? To amma kuma gashi ɗayan da kuke tare ta sanar da mu guda 2 daga ciki.
'Yan sanda? To gaskiya dai ni ban san su.
Ok, shi kenan iyayenku wanda kuke damun mutane na yankunan Ragacikun da Kirama da Kwara-kwara da Maraba? Yawan da kuka sani kenan? To a daji kuma fa?
A daji na san bawa.
Bawa? Ok, bawa? Yana shigowa cikin gari?
Da rana?
Ko da daddare?
Ba ya shigowa da rana.
Sai dai da daddare? Sai wane kuma?
Sai ɗan gaye mutum.
Ɗan gaye? Kina da namban sha'awayenki kuma?
Ban da namban ɗan gaye, ina dai da namban bawa.
Kina da namban bawa? Sai wane?
Sai isu.
Sai isu? Shi ma yana daba ne?
Ok,
to shi kenan. Sai waye?
Sai wani ana ce mai
Maude? Shi yana ina ne?
From all we can understand, it got to show that crime do not know gender. I think that is what this is actually letting us to know. That is why the security agencies must be circumspect in their due diligence in terms of intelligence, because if a woman could be involved in, of course, intelligent gathering for bandits, terrorists, I think it speaks volume of the type of society environment we are, because it got to show that both the society, the locals, the government, everyone must synergize to see that we gather sufficient intelligence strategically to nip crime in the bud. Because nobody could expect and imagine that a woman will be an informant for bandits, for Fulani militia. So it goes to show that the level at which they filtrate into the society is worrisome. That is why, of course, I understand that currently the government is already tinkering with the idea of forest guard. But unfortunately for me, one area I'm not too comfortable with is the idea that those states that currently suffer heavy banditry operation are not keen into this forest guard initiative of federal government. Talking about states like Katsina, states like Kwara, states like, of course, Zamfara, and even Taraba, Plateau. I was thinking that they are going to embrace this issue of forest guard with speed of light. But unfortunately, we are not seeing that. Even after all the complaint of someone like the governor of Zamfara State, talking about how his inability to command and move the security architecture in state to operation. Well, we know that the command and control system of Nigeria's security architecture is from Abuja, from the Office of National Security Advisor, that trickles down to the grass roots. But currently, hence the president has made it very clear that, of course, the state governors, state governments should go ahead to engage forest guards. Of course, that they will be armed. I don't know why states that are ravaged by this level of insecurity occasioned by Fulani militias are not keen into this agenda of federal government. Because for me, it's a way to go. I've personally been a strong advocate of the fact that the governors should not just be going by the name of the governors and the chief security officer of their respective states, but rather that they should begin some level of security power to parade. And I want to believe that this forest guard initiative has come to give them that security power to parade, and they should kick into it with speed of light. As far as I'm concerned, life is sacrosanct. The best way to protect life is for the government to synergize and possess monopoly of coercive power. The idea of negotiating with bandits, for me, is a misnomer. It's out of place. It doesn't add up. As far as I'm concerned, bandits don't deserve mercy, because there are people who have no mercy for Nigerians. You can clearly see how they may kill Nigerians in their numbers. Come to think of it, we saw the revelation that came from a former House Committee chairman on arming in the Senate, talking about Senator Allen Duma in the past, where he made it very clear that only Medukri Cemetery is having about 800 and something military personnel buried there who were killed by, of course, Boko Haram. So how do you now go into negotiation with such people? How do you want the families of those military personnel who were killed by this Boko Haram member, by these bandits? How do you want them to feel? As far as I'm concerned, the best option for Nigerian government is to go ahead to possess monopoly of coercive power, smooth them out of their hiding places, set them running, and bring them to justice. Of course, that is the way to go. To say you are negotiating is a misnomer. I can clearly, let me say, I'm seriously disappointed in some of the northern states, or rather with some of the northern states, because we are seeing some videos that is going viral on the internet. A situation where you can clearly see bandits coming for peace deal. I must say it's unacceptable. It's not a welcome development because it exposes Nigerian sovereign state as a weak state. We understand that the federal government recently placed order for about 50 fighter jets. I must say it's a welcome development, and we encourage government to continue in that trajectory. Because when we saw the arrest of those two Ansarud terrorist leaders, for me, is the way to go. They are on trial, and that will act as a deterrent to others. I want to see more of that. I want to see the lives of Toji Bello, the lives of Ada Aleru, the lives of Garua Kwashi, who is operating in the Faskari local government area of Katsina State. We want to see them arrested. Let them be prosecuted to act as a deterrent to others. I don't want to believe that the bandits are more formidable than Nigerian armed forces. Because as a government, as a country, Nigerian armed forces, Nigerian government, Nigerian sovereign state have comparative advantage over them. Because we have airports, we have air platforms, we can comfortably enter into agreement with our foreign partners to procure arms and ammunition. I know they, at their own level, have some level of arms and ammunition, but they don't have air platforms. So why should they be having upper hand against Nigerian army? Looking at how they even successfully compromise maritime military base, it's going to show that the armed forces need to be more circumspect. Because that could have happened if the terrorists themselves didn't have some level of actionable intelligence that pay off on their part. But for them to have been able to compromise such a formidable military base, it's going to show that they must have gotten some level of intelligence. And I must say that our armed forces must live up to responsibility. I encourage them to do more because we can see that there are successes being recorded. But again, I want to even say that the president at some point let us ensure that we allow state police. Because the way it's going is coming to the point where state police must be an option. Because as it is, all crime is local. And if all crime is local, it's going to show that it must be addressed from that point of view. And if Gowon and Co had allowed Abuja Accord to stand, I don't think we'll be here today talking about how to fight bandits and banditry. Because that would have been addressed at the level of the regions. We understand that the issue of decentralizing Nigerian police, even Nigerian armed forces, were already contained in the Abuja Accord. But unfortunately, Gowon came back from Abuja and denied everything. And today, we are fighting those things that we ought to have addressed. But to have it, I want to believe that the current situation demands for a state police and a complete restructuring. Let even the president use the good office to restructure the country to the extent that states own security of lives and property in their respective jurisdiction. So that let federal government handle some areas of critical issues in the country, like issue of policy, foreign policy, national issues, and all of that. As far as I'm concerned, the Fulani militias must be dealt with seriously. Because these are people who have no value for human life. These are people, according to Global Terrorism Desk, it says that this group, that they are the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. So I think the government should know that they are dealing with a very formidable force, a group that can have the boldness, what it takes to attack a sitting governor. Because we understand that in the time of Samuel Autumn, as the governor of Benue State, he was attacked. Of course, it was an assassination attempt. And shortly after that, we saw a group that says the Fulani nationality movement coming to claim responsibility. Even boasting that the governor was lucky, that next time he will not be lucky. So the government should know that we are dealing with a very formidable force. I like the idea of the Director General of GSS, Ajayi, who said that communities should be empowered to be the first line of defense in case of invasion. I want to believe that that has even, in a way, helped to shape the mind of the president, Tinubu, who came out strongly to say that forest guard will be strengthened. But my own area and issue is, why are we not seeing state governors, particularly in the northern part of the country, keen into this initiative of forest guard with speed of light? Rather, all we see is negotiation with bandits. All we see is celebrating bandits. Let me say that there are circumstances upon which one may be justified to negotiate with bandits. That is when you have Nigerians in captivity and going for their rescue would perhaps endanger their lives, like the era of Chibok girls, the era of Dapchi girls. If you are negotiating to get them out of captivity and you can even pay for their safety, is understandable. Not a situation where it's not as if somebody is in captivity, you are negotiating. How long will that peace deal stand? Because anytime they are dissatisfied, they will come and wreak havoc. Like we saw the one that happened in Zamfara recently, where they even went as far to the mosque and abducted people. So it is something you can easily understand that this is the outcome. So for me, negotiating with bandits is a misnomer and it should be discouraged going forward. Let us get it right once and for all. Let the government acquire monopoly of coercive power and deal with them. That's the best approach. Negotiating with them is not the right way to go. I must say, baby, thank you for your time. This is South African.